Good evening and welcome back to Cricket Carnival right here on NewsX. I'm Sanjeev Mukherjee. And of course, as promised, joining me, well, looking dapper as ever, former Mumbai Ranji captain Shishir Hatangadi in the studios. Shishir, how was your flight? How was your trip to Delhi this time?
A little warm. You testify that, and you can always support me on that. But very happy to be here and talk something that we both love, cricket.
Absolutely, and there's a lot to talk about, Shishir. You already raised the bar, and there's a lot to talk about. In fact, we remember doing the story about Cricket Australia trying to entice the Australian players away from the IPL. It's good to see other networks reflecting that story on their show today. But we're going to start with something completely up your alley, and I'm sure our viewers have watched it last night on the broadcast. But we'll have Shishir now to talk about it. Now, what happened exactly? The scene is like this. Kieran Pollard, he is again in trouble. Is he actually in trouble? Well, I guess not. But he certainly created a buzz, at least on Twitter. Also, another new controversy for the IPL as far as cricketing matters are concerned. Now, these are still short. You'll see Pollard tried to take a quick two, and he did manage to do that. The throw was wide from Maxwell from deep. But what happened is that the cameras will show later the footage. Look at that. Pollard, did he actually ground his bat? Did he do that, or was he a foot and a half outside? One doesn't know, but as far as the camera is concerned, you can know that. Let's look into the visual right now before we come back onto this. If we can play the visuals full frame, please.
Pollard. They're hustling, and it's a poor throw. In the deep, and it's the skipper. It allows Pollard to retain the strike here. Well, little turn here. In the deep. Oh, what's that? Well, little turn here. Oh, what's that? Oh, don't you? Pollard.
Right, let's have Shishir up on our screen. Shishir, we heard the commentators were having a blast, but a lot of controversy started. We'll try and put out those tweets from a few of those respected voices of cricket, as they call themselves. Did he cheat at the outset? Did he cheat?
To think that he cheated would be being unfair to him, Sanjeev. He has made use of the rule, but there is a provision in the rules, and this is for most viewers who may not know that. I think the law 13.2 says that in the opinion, and I repeat, in the opinion of the umpire, if he feels that the batsman or the batsman in question was making use of his ability to go back to the striking crease because of the doubt in his mind and unfairly using the rule, he can deny him the run. But you see, this is in the heat of the moment. Obviously, the umpire wasn't concentrating, and what you got was somebody using the rule. Now, unless there is a stringent rule on this, players are, as you get into the T20 format, you will find from time to time players using this loophole, if I may call it so, in the rule to suit themselves and suit their teams. I don't think it was cheating. I mean, I'm sure it was not cheating. It was only making use of a situation and making use of the lack of vigilance of the umpire.
Yeah, and interestingly, the other side of the debate, as far as the marketing is concerned, when batsmen back up unnecessarily, maybe in the heat of the moment, maybe in the will to steal a quick single or get ready, perhaps they don't know. They're never criticized. The bowler who gets them out gets criticized. On the other hand, Pollard, did he do it on purpose? Did he fail to? But he's being criticized directly and blatantly by a lot of people.
It is, Sanjeev. I mean, it is against the spirit of the game. Use this little loophole in the rule would be asking a player to do too much. He will not let that go because players have become smarter. You see, at the end of the day, Pollard couldn't get the runs, and that's all fine. But if he had got those 2 sixes, we all would have said that was a strategic move. Such a smart move by Pollard to try and get back to the striking crease. But the fact of the matter is that the ICC needs to inform and make sure the MCC modifies this, because ICC is the watch or the caretaker of the game. MCC creates the rules.
ICC is the caretaker of the game, and as you said on one of those shows a few days back, that suddenly it's got a new dentist, so it's no more a toothless tiger. So certainly we'll expect to hear from the ICC and perhaps the custodians of the game on this. We'll come back to that's about it as far as Pollard is concerned. Let's go to another Bengali hero from the IPL. Not because I'm a Bengali, but Shishir himself is very, very fond of Kolkata, the Kolkata Knight Riders. But in this case, he's very fond of the gentleman we're going to talk about. That is the one and only Riddhiman Shah. His promotion as an opener in the batting lineup last evening literally clicked for his team as he made his presence, felt literally with a terrific innings there. Unbeaten 93 to help Punjab post 230. And that's the reason he is our player of the day. You can see his figures, the 93 unbeaten runs of 55 balls, 11 fours, 3 hits over the fence and a phenomenal strike rate. And if somebody still says that Riddhiman Shah doesn't have all the shots in the book, I'm sure we have not forgotten. My producer's getting too edgy, I don't know why, and he's passing me instructions about Saha. But let's not forget, there's a Bengali sitting here, and also a person who loves Bengali cricketers. Right, Shishir?
I'm born Bengali.
Yeah, you're born Bengali. 2014, we remember the fantastic knock in the IPL final. So it's not a new thing. It's good that they promoted him and he came good at the right time.
The thing about Kings is that they have to play like caged tigers, and the Bengal Tiger came good. One is promoting him in the order, gave him a feeling of fearlessness. The fact that he can deliver and play any format is evident. He's probably got 100 in the IPL in the past, and he's one player who has ensured that his team is still in the running. They are still waiting for others to falter while they have to win all their games. So it was one of those decisions to send him up, which I think was very strategic by Glenn Maxwell, and a great sense of belief in his ability, because one won't expect somebody of Saha's stature. I am not talking of his stature as a player, but his size, to be opening the innings. He's gone out there and delivered like he's come on very strongly in their own bastion. This is Mumbai's Indians' bastion. You can't beat them there. But he ensured that his innings made the difference.
His innings made a big difference, and of course a great slugfest as far as the runs is concerned. Of course, the game had to have one winner, and it certainly kept Kings 11 Punjab's hopes alive. But this is just the sort of performance you talk about more so in T20 cricket. Since it's the season of T20 cricket, you're down in the dumps, you're faced with an impossible possibility, impossible possibility, mind the words, but still you come back with a knockout punch.
Absolutely, and this is something, and they're depleted as a side.
Yeah.
Importantly, sometimes it brings out a great sense of character within the team. It just tells you how well they've been gelling. That you've lost some key players; they're not available now, but you still are able to muster up all your energies and all your talents to be able to defeat a champion side. And I say this because Mumbai, the only team that could have got over the line was Mumbai. They've qualified. You can excuse them for having a lack of desire in this game because they're already through. They've been through all the tough games, but they made a match of it. And I tell you what, just getting close to that total tells you that Mumbai Indians is no pushover. It requires a great performance to push over a Mumbai Indians, and we saw that yesterday. It was a great performance by the Kings.
Right. Moving on, talking about the fact that you have the guts and the gumption to brave it out and weather out and still make sure that you're available there for the last possible opportunity. The story of Kings 11 Punjab. On the other hand, when you've lost everything, and in the sense, not everything doesn't mean the end of the world, but you've not qualified for the playoffs, how do you talk about a team like that? Delhi Daredevils, they looked good sometimes, they didn't look good, so good. Tonight they take on the Rising Pune Supergiants. The Supergiants just need one win to secure the playoffs. What would the Delhi Daredevils team be thinking right now?
Well, they'll have to be thinking of their owners, not to further disappoint them. They'll also have to think about their futures because...
So in the IPL, you do need to think about the owners?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
They're your paymasters. I mean, if you don't think about owners and you don't feel that you've disappointed them through lack of performance, you're not being fair to them. It's not only a game here. There is a subplot here because there are owners involved. They've put a lot of money on backing you.
Correct.
And also the fact that they have over the last 10 years let down their owners. Let's be honest, Delhi Daredevils haven't delivered. I think it's time for them to at least show that it was a close miss. They could have won many games in which they lost. And this is one opportunity to defeat a top team or a team that is in the top 4.
Right.
To say that, there's many a cup between between an IPL loss and a win.
Absolutely, and a lot of teams still they feel the pinch even till today. Unlike the the bigger, powerful, stronger teams who won multiple number of times. But news coming in right from the centre. Well, Zaheer Khan, Mr. Zaheer Khan says it looks like a good wicket. Hopefully, it will assist spin later. Carlos Brathwaite is out. Shahbaz Nadeem is in, and he also says we just want to express ourselves. Shishir.
Yeah, it sounds cliched in the IPL, isn't it? Express yourself. I'd rather have him say we want to win. And expressing ourselves is it's good in scripts, it's good in movies. In cricket games, it's all about winning matches. And that's what I expect them to do, because a lot of them will have their IPL careers on the line now with this performance. And next year, when players go down on the hammer, under the hammer, so to speak, you will need to get some players performing and winning you games, which Pune have done in this season.
Right, and the changes from the other side is that Imran Tahir has gone and he's been replaced expectedly with another leg spinner, Adam Zampa. And Stephen Smith has said that the pitch looks dry, we would have looked to bat as well. Not too much pressure, hope we can keep going towards the finals.
Absolutely, I mean this is a crucial game. If they win this, they're through. So I don't think there are too many worries. They needn't look too far ahead. Just focus on this game. And yes, you said Zampa's come in. He's not a bad bowler either. You know, he's a T20 specialist too. So only Zampa may not have a follow through as extravagant as Imran Tahir when he picks up wickets. But the fact is, if the pitch helps him, he'll be a handful.
Pitch helps him, he'll be a handful. And of course, the factor is that forget about the batsman for a bit. T20 in any case is a batsman's game, but bowlers have contributed as much, if not more, to the success of this Pune team. Of course, you've examples like Unadkat, Thakur, you've got Washington Sundar coming out. That's a great name, by the way, Washington Sundar.
Absolutely.
And Ben Stokes, what a tournament he's been having.
Absolutely, and I believe he's not going to be available for the playoffs if they qualify. So this is his final stamp, so to speak, you know, his final frontier in terms of ensuring that his team goes in. He's been paid a few dollars for this IPL, so I think he'll be keen to deliver for his captain and his owners and ensure that at least they get into the playoffs before he flies.
Will he have Tahir's wicket-taking ability? Perhaps he is as economical, Zampa, but will he have Tahir's wicket-taking, that strike rate? Will he have that?
So my crystal ball tells me. Maybe
where is it? Where is the crystal ball?
If the pitch helps him, he'll be a handful. Like I said, he may not have that extravagant follow-through as Imran Tahir. Tahir is obviously more accomplished as a bowler in these conditions, but Adam Zampa, I'll tell you what, if the pitch helps and they have enough runs and they can put pressure on the opposition, he'll be a handful.
But time for us to slip into a short break. We'll continue with this discussion. But tell me one thing, after this season, there'll be no Gujarat Lions and no Rising Pune Supergiants. That's the way it looks like right now, because they might not be able to retain the same teams. Well, what happens if Gujarat Lions has already been knocked out? Rising Pune Supergiants actually go all the way, and they win the title. What happens? Who will deny them the same team and also the opportunity to come back in the IPL next year? Because remember, let's not forget, Chennai Super Kings, right? Yellow Submarine and the Rajasthan Royals are waiting there for the 25th of July to be back.
Sanjeev, you're posing one more problem to the CEO now.
Not my problem.
Don't you think they have enough on their plate?
No. I'm sure they're very good.
But that will be really poetic justice that a team's going out of the IPL and not coming back and goes on to win the tournament. I'd look at it differently if they do win, because there'll be a sensitive chord, an emotional chord to their winning the championship and then not playing the following year. But that's a call the governing council will have to take, and obviously very strategically placed another problem on the COA's dinner table.
Absolutely. I have not strategically placed a problem on the dinner table. I think they're pretty good in their job and what they do. I'm sure they'll come up with a solution. Shishir, it's time for a break. My producer suddenly is being very, very quiet. So let's take the cue, hit the break. When we come back, lots more with the man right himself, Shishir Atangadi. Stay right here. This is Cricket Carnival on NewsX.
It's a good delivery, full of legs.
Welcome back. The IPL seems to be in just a spot of bother with the anti-corruption unit having reported that the police picked up alleged bookies from Kanpur, from the team hotel where the IPL teams Gujarat Lions and Delhi Daredevils were staying after they noticed suspicious activities. There are contrasting reports across the media domain which says that a certain under-17 player, former under-17 player, might have been involved with the bookies. We yet do not know about, there's no clarity as to the identity of this certain player, and there's a fair bit of speculation about who could be the possible players who are being linked up, as usual by the media, as in the way they generally speculate. But we're not going to do that. We're going to listen in now to two voices. First Rajiv Shukla and then Virendra Sehwag, and then come back and discuss this situation.
नहीं और कोई किसी के सामने में कोई बात नहीं, वो जो नीरज कुमार की टीम है वो देख रही है.
You can't stop all these things. That's player responsibility whom he is meeting. तो अगर मेरा मन करेगा तो मैं किसी से भी मिल सकता हूँ, कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. अगर मेरा मन साफ है तो शायद मैं इस गेम को भी साफ रख सकता हूँ. तो कितनी सिक्योरिटी बैठा लें वो कुछ नहीं कर सकते अगर प्लेयर कुछ करना चाहेगा. तो ये प्लेयर की खुद की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि मुझ पर कोई कभी उंगली नहीं उठा सकता. अगर कल को कोई मुझे मेरे बारे में कुछ भी बोलता है और एक भी चीज प्रूव करता है तो मैं उस टाइम जब खेलता था तो बोलता रिटायर हो जाऊंगा, बोलता हूँ कि मेरे सारे रिकॉर्ड मिटा देना अगर कोई भी मेरे बारे में. अगर इस टाइप की अगर प्लेयर खुद रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेगा तो ये सब लोग मिलेंगे नहीं.
Glorious words there from Virendra Sehwag, and that's what a player is all about. He's saying that if anybody during my playing career had made these allegations and even proven it, I would have asked them to erase my records and gone out of cricket. And more importantly, what he says is that if you want to stay firm, if you want to be honest, you can do that. It's only in your hands.
It's about intent, Sanjeev. We've spoken about this millions of times. You can have vigilance, you can have anti-corruption, but it's all about intent. I mean, how these bookies landed up in the same hotel. I mean, obviously, there must have been a plan, and how they were operating from the same hotel is a question that, the BCCI need to ask the IPL, and the IPL need to answer these. Because every
Why
time...
does it happen every time? Every time there's some story or the other, be it players being arrested, officials getting involved. Now we are hearing reports of a certain former under-17 cricketer involved with bookies. What's going on, Shishir?
Well, it's the lure of easy money, Sanjeev. For me, that is crucial. And, I've been telling people in the BCCI in the past, try and mentor youngsters. Tell them that there are a few non-negotiables in the game. This is one of them. Try and drill it into their head. Like you drill a child, first thing you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth. This is something that is not acceptable. They're always going to be privy to meeting people who may be below the line in terms of the way they operate. But it's up to them to take that decision that their intent is clean and they do not want to indulge in anything outside an honest game of cricket. And this is what, the BCCI should be careful of. Last time they tried to shove things under the carpet, and what happened, we all know. We don't want that again. I think they should come out and investigate and come out and penalize people if they, they have a hand in encouraging these men who are in the same hotel. I just believe that, whether it's T20, one day or Test cricket, if you want to be clean, like as Virendra Sehwag says, it's up to you to be clean. People, you can have as many people surrounding you, and vigilance and anti-corruption, it doesn't make a difference. If your intent is not right, you will always tarnish the game.
You always tarnish the game. It also reminds us of, what all of us are taught in childhood, Shishir. You have been taught, so why? It doesn't matter whether you're a cricketer, a professional, MBA or an army man. Our parents always teach us, there's $5 lying on the floor somewhere. You don't know who it belongs to. Don't pick it up and put it in your pocket. If you want to pick it up, make sure you tell somebody that somebody must be missing this. And it's a basic instinct in a certain way.
And I think the BCCI needs to teach youngsters, and not at this level, much younger, under 13, under 15, to tell them really what this game is about.
Right.
The spirit of the game, why you play the game. And this is something that's going to go on. You can have as many people, you can have as many authorities monitoring it, being vigilant. The fact is, it's about players being very, very honest to themselves more than others. And I believe that this rot is not going to end.
Right.
We need to be very clear about that, that our players are going to help that rot or destroy it themselves.
Right, let's get back to a team which has already destroyed its own chances of making it to the playoffs, Delhi Daredevils, and up against the Rising Pune Supergiants. You know, we're talking about, we've spoke about briefly about the Pune bowling, but it's time Ajinkya Rahane gets one special knock, because you know, people who love the game and they love the way he plays, he reminds you of the golden times in cricket. Not the golden time of Indian cricket. Golden times of cricket was not much about power, but about timing, technique, temperament and poise. In a certain way, he reminds you of Rahul Dravid and many others. It's time we get to see a good knock from Rahane.
It's like
a personal favorite.
It's like watching a Gurudutt film in a Karan Johar era. You know, and that is what Ajinkya
there are still many takers.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, he's a purist, and we want, you know, the more you see pure, clean, old-fashioned players, and I say old-fashioned not in age, but in the way they play the game, you want them to succeed because you believe there is space and place for them in this format. And you know, Ajinkya Rahane is one of those purists. So it's good that, you know, we expect him to do well, because it'll be a survival of the old-fashioned romantic, and that is what you want even in this fast-paced game, because we've seen a lot of players who got Hashim Amla, for example. He's an old-fashioned cricketer with, you know, a test match demeanor, but him getting 200s in the IPL just tells you a story you want to hear again and again.
Right. One final word before we wrap this up. Anything special, any special thing you're expecting from MS? Because, you know, time and tide, as they say, time and tide waits for no one. And like that, time catches up with everyone. We know the clock is running on MS, the Champions Trophy. I'm not sitting here to speculate whether it will be a swan song, but certainly the clock is winding up. Fewer matches to play perhaps for MS in his career. This IPL could be the one big hurrah he would want to go out with. Who knows, on the domestic front.
Sanjeev, you say MS,
Okay, I just forgot he's going to come back with CSK.
Yeah, you know, but you say MS, you say time. I'll tell you, the Rolex doesn't stop ticking in its efficiency. It's like a Rolex. Just wait and see what happens in this season.
It just sounded like, you know, somebody once told me a story about Pete Sampras, the way he used to retrieve every ball from literally every impossible and imperceptible corner of the net. On that note, Shishir Atangdi, always a pleasure. Good to have you here. We'll have good times during these shows here, and Shishir will be giving us all his gyan, his inputs, his insights, and of course he'll add to the creativity of the show as we move ahead towards the business end of the IPL. The news is up next, so keep watching. This is NewsX.
It's a good delivery, full of legs. That's gone for 6 runs.
This program is co-presented